This is Grizz's workshop. This scruffy-looking mofo is Grizz.
Not an expert, not an exemplar of safety. Proceed at your own risk.
I wanted a little shed so I could free up some space in the workshop. I wanted it to be about 8 by 3 feet. I ordered all the material in and I started with the roof and base. I applied some silicone to the edges, adding some damp-proof coursing to cover them. Like most sheet material, the weakness is the edges on the OSB, so I wanted to make sure they were protected from damp. Started with them as well because they were the biggest pieces and they were in the way. So I'm starting from the bottom up. It's the easiest way to build anything. I'm using some 2x3 and some 2x2 spaces. I'm using treated material as it's going to be outside, and when I cut I seal the edges with some outdoor treatment. See, I'm assembling here. So I screwed them together and added a bit of polyurethane glue. This is great for keeping them outside. I did watch a lot of videos on shed building. I took a lot from the Badger Workshop and Rag and Bone Brown when designing it. So I'm using some of the excess 2x2 timber here to make some little feet. I treated them, especially the cut edges, and then added some more damp-proof coursing to the outside. You'll see what the feet are for shortly. Now, this is the base. I used some wedges to level it up so it was level, and then I put the feet in to keep it level. This raises it up quite a bit at one end and hardly any at the other. I also screwed it to the base of the floor to avoid it being knocked over in strong winds. And now I'm cutting the timber for the sides and the front and back. More polyurethane and screws to put them together. These sides were small enough that I could assemble them in the workshop. The front and back were so big I had to do them outside on the outside table here. This simple timber frame construction, again using the polyurethane glue, just as extra strength. This one with the doorway is obviously the front. See, so then I just started screwing it to the base. You see the angled bit of wood there, that's just holding it in place while I screw it square. Measuring from corner to corner to make sure they're the same, and that it's square. You can see I added 3 more pieces. That makes the roof support. and then added the roof on top. And I've got this waterproof sheet that I'm putting on the outside of the timber frame. This will keep it watertight, so if I have to leave it due to rain, I can leave it any stage now. I did have another sheet on top of the roof as well, just for a bit of extra damp proofing. Now these coralline roof sheets, they need screwing in with long weather sealed screws, screwing through the upper corrugation of the sheet so that the water runs off them, not in the valley where it'll soak in. And this is from shed. A few more screws to get that corrugation in place. Now I'm putting more of the coralline sheeting on as cladding. I got this idea from Badger Workshop. He's made his workshop with this. It's quite heavy, as you can see. I did leave a bit of a gap at the top, but I'll address this later. They're a bit awkward to put in place and even worse to cut. They really do gum up whatever saw you use on them, but they are very weatherproof. And again, using some mortar waterproof screws to put it in place, so you don't have to worry about going through the top because of the way the material's orientated. It was considerably cheaper than using any sort of shiplap or feather edge. One final small thin piece to cut. So here's me testing it, throwing my enormous weight against it. It's a very solid little shed. I'm making the doors. I want to have them square. I just lay a piece diagonally from corner to corner, and then figure out where I need to cut. I might saw back out. And yeah, just screw them in place, and you've got strong little doors. Now I'm adding a door lock here, just a simple one off Amazon. It was fairly easy to attach. Need some extra trim just to make sure it fit the door okay. So here it's finished. You can see I added a bit more of the shiplap that's on the door frame around the top. That made it nice and neat. This is 8 months later, these pictures and videos, and it stood up really well. Thanks for watching.
See you next time on Grizz's Workshop.